Hey everyone, today I'm going to unbox and test out and evaluate this Tomine, whatever it's called, cleaning gun. I picked this up on Amazon for $40. This is a knockoff of the Tornador, whatever that thing's called, but that one cost $180. I wasn't willing to do that, so I bought this one. We're going to try it out and we're going to see how it works. Before we get underway, do me a favor, hit that like button down below. Helps me out a lot when you do. And let's get started. Instructions, the gun, packing material, brush attachment, solution bottle, air hose adapter. That's it. Let's lay everything out. I'll be installing this air hose fitting. It has an O-ring, so I'm not going to use any Teflon tape. I'm just going to thread it on. And I'm just going to snug this down with a 14mm wrench. Remembering there's an O-ring, so I'm just going to snug it. We can see a metering knob on the gun itself. We can see how it closes that valve inside. We can see when max is pointed in a straight line, it's full open. And when max is offset, we can see like that, it's closed. When the switch is pointed sideways like this, no cleaning fluid flows. When the switch is pointed up like this, cleaning fluid does flow to the end of the gun. As you fire up your compressor, you're probably going to want to set your metering valve to maximum to use all the available pressure. Happen to be using Resolve for this test. Calls for 2.3 ounces per gallon, so I'm going to use about 1 ounce per liter. So I'll fill up a third of my measuring bottle. I've got 1 liter of water, and I pour the solution in. So now I'll just tighten on the cap. My compressor maxes out at 145, and with that we're ready to connect up. And I made sure the valve was fully open and that the valve for the liquid was also open. And I really didn't have a technique down yet. What I wanted to do was just do an area so I could do a comparison of a before and after. And you can see sort of this black silhouette around the working area that's forming as it sort of pushes the dirt out from the carpet, right? But I haven't really figured out a pattern yet. I'm just sort of playing with the device to see what's going on. But it is working. You can see that the carpet is getting brighter in the working area. I also don't know if there's some benefit to leaving the degreaser in the carpet for any amount of time, but after doing this, I immediately put it on air only so I could push out all that material. See, I've set that to the side, and I'm going to blow it out, see what happens. Definitely shows promise as we look at before and after over here at the edge of the carpet. Continuing to refine my technique, I continue on the rest of the carpet now. The device itself seems to be working great. One of the first things you'll notice in the high-speed footage is the frequency of the device dropping and then getting high again. This is one of the first problems you'll encounter if you have a small compressor, is for every 1 minute of use, you're really going to be taking a 4-minute break to let your compressor come up to full pressure before you could use the gun again. So you're going to hear that a lot. This area fills up with tons of dirt. Each time it does drop in pressure, I clean it out. I'll demonstrate how I do that shortly. I have a container full of clean water halfway. I shut off the solution knob. I just put the device in and pop it once or twice and blows out all the dirt from the inside of that cone. I do this each time I'm waiting for my air compressor to recharge. That way I have a regular interval for clean. You can see all that junk in there. I have a regular interval for keeping the inside of that cone clean. Here are 2 stubborn spots that are getting extra attention to detail. If you count up how often the frequency is changing as I take breaks to let this thing recharge, you can see how long this takes to do. And I don't have a small compressor, but if you have one of those little pancake compressors, you have no chance to use a device like this. I moved on to the nasty driver's side carpet. And not only is it really nasty, it's also physically worn out. There's physical damage to the pile of the carpet itself. We'll see what we could do with this. I'm discovering a couple of things as I do this. The way this thing is designed, right now it's not a problem because it's out of the car, but a lot of the dirt that you're releasing from the carpet, you're throwing back onto the carpet. Some of it's in this machine, but it's definitely going to require cleanup in and around the area. I'm using a towel to accomplish some of this, but there's probably going to be an after cleaning in the car after this is done. This carpet cleaned up real nice. You can see where the heel from driving has dug away after 12 years. I didn't expect that would be fixed. And with this intensive cleaning that was done, both these carpets consumed less than a liter of water and cleaning solution. Here's a carpet from the passenger side of the car I had showed previously in a video with the 3-in-1 Vac Master shampooer. This rough spot is from the AC drain getting plugged, so we're going to be able to hit that with this. We're going to see how it cleans it up. Even with the small attachment from the shampoo, it was difficult to get here on this bend because of the way it was shaped. And I decided in my last video I was going to leave the perimeter alone and allow this machine to attempt to clean it. I tested this by continuing around the perimeter until I got to near the center console. But I decided I'm going to finish this carpet at the auto shop, so I'm going to stop right here. Got this really terrible stain on the driver's side. I'm going to use this machine to pull that stain out. I've left it in here from the last video for this tool, so we're going to start on this now. And that pulled the stain right out of the seat, no problem at all. I moved to the shop. Not only is it really hot outside, but there's also a lot bigger air compressors and storage for compressed air here than at home. I demoed this door panel for everybody in the shop. They thought it was pretty cool. And now I'm going to move on to the driver's side rear passenger to do that carpet from beginning to end with an unlimited air supply and see how easy it is not worrying about waiting for a compressor to charge. If you get a big air compressor, you've solved one of the two biggest drawbacks with this cleaning tool. The second biggest drawback is the unbelievable amount of crap it throws everywhere if the carpet's really dirty. So be prepared to cover up all the areas where it's going to blow stuff onto, including the dash or the seats, or also have a fan on the other side blowing outward towards you to blow all the stuff out of the car. You can see everything's completely covered with sand in the area that I just cleaned. And that carpet was thoroughly vacuumed before cleaning. That said, it did remove all the rust from the passenger side and was as effective on the carpets as it was on the fabrics and seats and other upholstery. I wanted to hit this stain on the headliner. I don't know if this was grease or blood or whatnot, but it was time to pull it out. But I also wanted to show you some of the things I ran into when running this thing upside down, as it were. There's no one-way valve on the bottle, so when you're holding it upward, it just kind of pours all over you like that. Also, in this case, you want to make sure your clunk line is facing backwards. I got out like 90% of the stain, but it was getting dark out, and I'm not going to run the compressor anymore tonight. So back to this clunk line. It's supposed to weigh the line down to the bottom of the bottle, but it doesn't. So if you're shooting this thing downward, point it forward. And if you're not shooting it downward, if you're shooting it upward, you have to turn this hose around and face it backwards, or else you're not going to get any of the fluid pushing up into the unit. If you're cleaning something nasty, this unit should be cleaned regularly in a container of water, or you're just blowing that crap right back into your carpet. This piece detaches to put on the other accessory, but this piece and the main unit should be washed after use because it builds up all sorts of stuff on there. This is the spinning bearing that makes it all happen. Mine still spins freely after this exercise, so that's a good sign. Here's what all the interesting bits look like in action. Keep in mind the tube for the fluid is extremely small. So the viscosity of cleaning fluid is very important. And a final note, a compressor like mine is good for small spot work, but definitely not up for the task of cleaning an entire car. So am I happy I spent $40 on this one instead of $180 on the other one? Absolutely. Should I have gotten this one if I clean cars professionally? Probably not. I'd probably get the one with the warranty, with the parts replacement, because I would be doing that for a living. But this is definitely one for a consumer. It did the job. It's got a couple of quirks, like I said, I mentioned in the video. But most importantly, if you don't have a compressor and you don't have a good compressor, you can be really disappointed regardless of which one you purchase. And I think you really need to know that one going out of the gates, because unless you want to sit there waiting for compressors to charge, it's just not feasible. And that wraps up my review of this Tomine cleaning gun. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found it informative. Do me a favor, hit that like button down below. Helps me out a lot when you do. Hit that subscribe button down below for more videos. Again, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching. Would you like to reply?